بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطاهرين اللهم صل على قال الله في كتابه الكريم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا استعينوا بالصبر والصلاة إن الله مع الصابرين صدق الله العلي العظيم. Illuminate your hearts and minds with a loud salawat ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. The reason why each and every one of us chooses a path to take on in our faiths is that we have come to the conclusion that yes, this is truly the path or the route towards salvation. And so we can see in our time many are taking it lenient on religion, saying that you can be this, you can be that, it doesn't matter, God's forgiving. But then we come with this question: why are you a Muslim to begin with? And more important so, why are you a Shia? You could have been a Sunni, you could have been a Hanbali, you could have been a Christian, an atheist. Why did you choose to be a Shia Muslim? When we bring up this type of question, these types of questions, the answer, which some might not give, but is there, it's lying there, is that no, it's not that every single path, every single route always leads to the right way, but there's only one path towards the truth. Now, as Shi'as, we follow the teachings of the Ahlul Bayt and the Quran. And through these teachings, we help ourselves advance from status to status, from level to level. And through the different achievements that we have made, we can gain closeness or nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And a hadith from the Imam Ali alayhi salam, which we have been discussing these past few nights, which the Imam Ali alayhi salam describes the characteristics of his Shi'as. He says that شيعتنا المتبادلون في ولايتنا المتحابون في مودتنا المتزاورون في إحياء أمرنا, and our topic of discussion الذين إن غضبوا لم يظلموا, those who if enraged, angry or furious, they do not lash out and portray this anger in an inappropriate manner, in an indecent manner. Now, we have already gone through the meanings and the different aspects or parts of this phrase or this single part of this hadith which should be mentioned and brought up. But it is also appropriate that we mention sabr. Ghadab, or one's anger, rage, one's fury, is something that is controlled through one's willpower and one's discipline. And if we ask many others, they also define this as what everyone else commonly calls as sabr, or otherwise known as patience. Each and every one of us can see that we have either learned the easy way, or some of us might have learned the hard way, that not everything comes with a rush. For someone to achieve something, there's always going to be sabr or patience needed. So it's appropriate that we mention sabr. And it's interesting to note that in the grave we will be met with one of our hardest tribulations after our passings. If we look in the books which concern and talk about the hereafter or one's journey to the life after this one, we see that every single one of them, for example, the book of Manazil al-Akhirah, that each and every one of them indicate and bring that one of the hardest moments and times for someone after their death is the time that they spend inside the grave, the qabr. Now, it's not that I'm going to be put in my grave, placed in there, laid down, all comfort and luxury until the day of judgment. But no, in this grave itself, I will be met with challenges, stages, and difficulties. And so, we are also met in the grave by three different angels: the angel Ruman, Nakir, and Munkar. The first, which is the angel Ruman, an angel which comes, which writes down all of our actions, does not write down, in fact, but orders us to write down everything that we have done by the use of our spit or saliva as ink and our fingers as pens. Then Ruman will use our kafans, or the cloth that we have been wrapped around our deceased bodies. Praise Allah, salawat ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. The angel Ruman, one of the angels that we will all meet and come to be with in our graves during our questionings. This angel Ruman will come to each and every single one of us and will use our saliva as ink and our fingers as pens, and will order us to write on our kafan, to write on the cloths that our bodies have been wrapped in, our deceased bodies, to write down every single action that we have done. We will be, and every single one of us, we will write and write and write until we reach maybe either one or two faults that we have done during our lifetimes. And when we reach those faults, we will be with such shame and guilt, but Ruman will reply and say, how could you have not shamed what you have done during your lifetime, but now when you were writing down and it's too late for you, now you regret what you did. This is Ruman. The second stage which comes up is Nakir and Munkar. Those angels which come to you and ask you and interrogate you of every single thing you've done by looking at this letter that you have wrote on your kafan. Now, one of the biggest worries for someone before they enter the grave are these interrogations. It has even been revelated and narrated in the teachings of the Ahlul Bayt that whenever you want to put someone in the grave, first place them away from the grave on the ground. Wait for a moment, then bring them closer to the grave. Place them on the ground. Wait for another moment. Come closer and place them besides the grave. The reason being that so the person or the deceased may be ready and uncomfortable and be able to have some alibi or a type of allegory or a type of discussion, argument that they can use when they are being interrogated. And every one of us is going to be like this as well. Because these interrogations that will be brought, we will be asked of every single one of our actions. We will be put on the spot and freeze of shock and anxiety. And the hadith from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, he says that إِذَا دَخَلَ الْمُؤْمِنُ قَبْرَهُ, whenever a mu'min, a believer, enters their grave, and they will be interrogated and asked of what will be happening, their prayers, their zakats, charities, their prayers, their zakats, their charities, and their bir, their respects that they have been paid, that they have paid or given, the respect that they have given towards their elders, to the others, to their parents, will be around them. Prayer on the right, zakat on the left, and respect on the top. And these will be protections and safekeeps and almost like walls to lean on for comfort when the interrogations happen. And when these interrogations happen, sabr or patience is on the sidelines. What does sabr say to zakat, salat, prayer, and bir? He says to these three, watch over our owner, watch over the person who has done us. And if any one of you three were to be tired, strained, don't worry, I've got your back. I'm going to be there for the owner if you can't handle the strain or the stress that there is during these interrogations. Sabr or patience is a very useful tool, not in the world, but also the hereafter. Something that can help someone rise in ranks on religious occasions and in respectable accounts. Whenever I'm a patient person, someone who doesn't lash out all the time, I'll be respected among others, my seniors, my familiars, as a person who is known as patient or sabur. Praise Allah, salawat ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. So we will come to this question that what is considered sabr? What is considered patience? We have different forms of patience. A lot of different ways one can portray sabur, their sabr, patience or endurance. We have some people who might consider patience to be during hardships, patience when they're angry, when they're during their ghadab. Lots of different accounts, and the list just goes on and on and on. How do we identify those sabrs which are given to us and taught to us by the Ahlul Bayt and the religion of Islam? And a hadith from the Prophet, our Prophet, the Prophet Muhammad, he says, As-sabru thalatha. Sabr or patience, generally speaking, is divided into three parts, the three terms. Sabrun inda al-musiba, wa sabrun ala al-ta'a, wa sabrun an al-ma'siyah. The first of the three, sabrun inda al-musiba. One's patience and endurance, their control that they have over themselves during the hardships of their times. Some people might be going through bankruptcy, may have a problem in their relationships. The first of the three is sabrun indal musiba. The second, was sabrun ala ta'a, and patience and one's control over themselves to act towards the orders or the actions that we have been prescribed to do, which have been obligated towards us by Allah. Our prayers, our fasts, for us to gain money or our income through halal. And the third, as-sabrun anil ma'siyah, one's patience or control from wrongdoings and prohibited acts. Now, these three have been brought by the Prophet, but these three also come with virtues themselves, each and every single one of them. And the Prophet starts one by one counting every single one of them. The first of them, as we said, sabrun inda al-musibah, one's patience or control that they have during the hardships of their lives. فَمَنْ صَبَرَ عَلَى الْمُصِيبَةِ حَتَّى يَرُدَّهَا بِحُسْنِ عَزَائِهَا. So whosoever were to control or be patient during their hardships, the hard times, in a way that they pass by them with dignity and elegance. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to and considers the mu'mins وَإِذَا مَرُّوا بِاللَّغْوِ مَرُّوا كِرَامًا. And if they were to pass by, the mu'mins, the believers, if they were to pass by any wrong or hardships of such, they would pass in an elegant way. Now, they're not supposed to pass elegantly only through wrongdoings, but also hardships. And so so the Prophet says, whosoever were to get across hardships and difficulties in an elegant and dignified manner, كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَهُ ثَلَاثَمِائَةِ دَرَجَةٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will write for this person 300 levels that they will be given. مَا بَيْنَ الدَّرَجَةِ إِلَى الدَّرَجَةِ كَمَا بَيْنَ السَّمَاءِ إِلَى الْأَرْضِ. And the distance between each level that they will be given, their status, the 300 levels that they will attain, the distance between each and every single one is that of the earth to the sky. The first one. The first known way of one's patience, endurance, is through hardships. And if I were to control myself and be able to pass and come across and pass aside these hardships in a dignified and elegant manner, I will be given 300 levels, that in between each level there's a distance of this earth and the sky. The first one, sabrun عند المصيبة. The second one, والصبر على الطاعة. One's control to do the actions and the obligations that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given them. وَمَنْ صَبَرَ عَلَى الطَّاعَةِ. Now each and every one of us might have a problem from some time to time, that I don't feel like doing my prayer, maybe I'll do it later. Then they'll see that no, they actually skipped their prayers to begin with. The morning prayer, I have to wake up at 5 a.m. and do my prayer. I'll do it later, wake up at 7 a.m. and see that you skipped it. Or fasting, for example. I don't feel like doing it today. It's a big problem that we have nowadays. Everyone's taking their obligations and what they have been told to do and ordered as something very lenient and easy. It's not obligated, or even if it was obligated, Allah is merciful, right? He'll forgive everyone for anything. The reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so forgiving and merciful is that He forgives those who truly seek to repent and return from what they have done. So mercy or forgiveness is not something that's given for free, something that's not given without any reason or cause, but out of one's true pureness and piety. So whoever were to have control over themselves to do the actions or the obligations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَهُ 600 درجة. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will write for this person and announce onto this person 600 levels. 600 levels in their status which they will be given. And now these 600 levels are different from the first set, the first category of patience. ما بين الدرجة إلى الدرجة كما بين تخوم الأرض إلى العرش. Between every single level that they have been given from these 600 levels, there is a distance that is similar or can be comparable to the distance of the earth's core to the heavens. Now, how far away is the heavens? God knows. But we are definitely not able to attain it. And just knowing and understanding that there is such a distance between us and the heavens itself, imagine the core of the earth all the way to the heavens. This is among the seconds. And the third, sabrun عن المعصية. One's patience, control, endurance against the prohibitions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What He has prohibited for you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told you not to lie. Okay, I'll control myself, I won't lie. He told you don't look at this thing. Okay, I won't look at this thing. I'll control myself from looking at this thing. Now, I won't lie, I used to believe that my motto was that if I wasn't able to live a day which I were to do all the recommended rituals, all the recommended acts, the mustahabbat, at least I would pass my day without doing any ma'asiyah, any wrongdoings. But it's even more so that I've been more eager to even control myself. The reason being that it's not that I won't be giving anything for my control, but I will be given what? كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَهُ دَرَجَةً ما بين الدرجة إلى الدرجة كما بين تخوم الأرض إلى منتهى العرش. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give this person a status, levels. How many levels? He will give them 900 levels in between each and every single level. There is the distance between the core of the earth to the ends of paradise. Paradise or heaven has given 8 doors, 8 gateways, and many levels. And each level has a huge distance between the level that was previous to it, prior to it. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that whosoever controls himself from the urges that they may have to do wrongdoings, they will be giving 900 levels between each level, the distance of the core of the earth to the ends of paradise. May Allah inshaAllah give us the tawfiq, success in becoming among the true Shi'as of the Ahlul Bayt, and may we all be alim and amil to the teachings of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Wa sallallahu ala